They thought I'd just roll over, that I'd shrug, cry a little, and move on with my life. 1 month after I bought my car, the dealership rolled into my driveway, hooked it up to a tow truck, and drove away without a word. But here is what they didn't know. I was about to take something from them that they could never buy back. And I did it all, completely legally. But if you've ever been wronged by a shady company and wished you could watch them choke on their own arrogance, you're going to love this. Hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this is the story of how one woman turned the tables so hard the dealership never saw it coming. It was early March in Cleveland, Ohio. The kind of day where the air feels damp but sharp, like winter isn't ready to let go just yet. Tiah McCreary sat in her kitchen, sipping coffee from a chipped blue mug she'd owned since college. She was proud that morning, proud and a little relieved, because out in the parking lot of her apartment complex, sitting in the very same spot she could see from her window, was her new to her, car, a silver 2016 Toyota Camry. Reliable, clean, low mileage. She'd bought it from Westwood Auto, a local dealership that advertised itself as family-owned and committed to honesty. Tiah was no stranger to hardship. At 33, she'd weathered more than her share of storms. A messy breakup, the kind of job that paid the bills but drained her soul. Nights staring at her bank account, calculating whether she could afford gas and groceries that week. That car was more than a purchase. It was a symbol. Freedom. Stability. The day she walked into Westwood Auto, she remembered the way the sales manager's smile looked too tight, like it was stapled on. His name was Rick, mid-50s, greasy comb-over, reeked faintly of aftershave and coffee breath. He talked fast, but his voice had that syrupy salesman quality, warm enough to make you feel comfortable, slippery enough that you didn't notice the corners he was cutting. They offered her in-house financing. "You don't need perfect credit, Tiah," Rick had said with a sympathetic tilt of his head. "We help people like you." She should have heard the condescension in that, but she was too focused on signing the papers and imagining herself driving away. The first month was bliss. She drove to work with the radio up, windows cracked, heater blasting. She picked up her niece for ice cream one Saturday and thought, yeah, things are finally looking up. Then, one Wednesday morning, she walked out to an empty parking spot. At first, she thought she was losing her mind. She circled the lot twice. Maybe she parked in a different row. But no, the oil stain where her Camry sat was still there, like a ghost. Her heart rate picked up. Hands trembling, she pulled out her phone and called the police to report it stolen. That's when the officer on the other end asked casually, "Ma'am, are you sure it wasn't repossessed?" Repossession? Her stomach dropped. She called Westwood Auto. Rick answered, voice dripping with fake sympathy. "Oh, yeah, about that," he said. "Looks like your financing didn't go through after all. We had to take the car back. Standard procedure." She blinked. "What are you talking about? I've made my first payment already. I have the receipt." "Yeah, well," Rick sighed. "Sometimes these things happen. Nothing personal." Nothing personal. He hung up before she could finish her sentence. That phone call lit a fire in her chest, a mix of humiliation, confusion, and rage. She took the bus to the dealership, the bitter smell of diesel mixing with the taste of adrenaline in her mouth. Rick wasn't tea at the front desk when she arrived. A young woman with chipped red nails was. She looked nervous when Tiah gave her name. Let me see if he's available." He was. And when he came out, he had the gall to smirk. "It's all in the paperwork you signed," he said, sliding a copy across the counter. "Right here. We reserve the right to reclaim the vehicle if financing fails to finalize. It's perfectly legal." She felt her ears burning. Perfectly legal didn't feel legal at all. For the next 2 weeks, she tried every route she could think of, calling the finance company, contacting the Better Business Bureau, writing angry but professional emails demanding her car back or a refund. Every time she hit the same wall. Sorry, nothing we can do. It was like shouting into a canyon. Her words just echoed back, emptier every time. One night, she was venting to her cousin Marcus over takeout. Marcus was the kind of guy who always had a guy for everything, a mechanic, a tax guy, a guy who could get you a couch at wholesale. He chewed thoughtfully on a chicken wing and said, "You should check if their business name is current with the state. Some small companies let it lapse. If they did, you could—" "What?" she asked. "Own it," he said simply, wiping his fingers. The idea hit her like a spark in the dark. She didn't sleep much that night. Instead, she was on her laptop pulling up the Ohio Secretary of State's business registry. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Westwood Auto. Her eyes widened. Status: canceled. Reason: failure to renew. For a long moment, she just stared. It was like finding the front door of a fortress wide open with the guards asleep. She clicked through the registration process, heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. Name availability, confirmed. Filing fee, $39. $39. That was it. Tiah wasn't reckless. She triple-checked everything, the statutes, the process, the legalities. This was her chance, but she wasn't going to blow it on a mistake. She paid the fee, hit submit, and waited. The confirmation email came less than 24 hours later. Congratulations. You are now the registered owner of Westwood Auto in the state of Ohio. She laughed out loud. Next step, the cease and desist letter. She kept it cold, clinical. No threats, no insults, just facts. As the legal owner of the registered business name Westwood Auto, you are hereby instructed to cease all use of this name in commerce, advertising, and representation, effective immediately. She printed it, signed it, and sent it certified mail. 3 days later, her phone rang. Caller ID, Westwood Auto. She let it go to voicemail. An hour later, another call. This time, she picked up. Rick's voice was tight, clipped, all the oily charm gone. What exactly do you think you're doing? I'm enforcing my legal rights, she said calmly. You can't just— I can, she interrupted. And I did. If you want to use the name, you can make me an offer. The silence on the line was delicious. For weeks, she imagined the chaos. The dealership scrambling to rebrand, changing their website, replacing the sign out front. That $39 investment had cost them thousands. And the best part? She never raised her voice. She never broke the law. She didn't even have to leave her apartment. In the end, it wasn't about the car anymore. They could keep it. This was about something bigger, showing them that you can just step on people and expect them to stay down. Sometimes the smallest moves have the biggest consequences. And sometimes karma doesn't need to wait. It just needs you to file the right. If that story made you grin, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. What's the smartest revenge you've ever seen? And make sure you're subscribed for more stories where justice comes with a certified stamp.